Can I say you're horrible so not more people hire you? So
Yeah, exactly. You
because
can do
then
whatever.
you're leveling the field again. So we need to have a edge. You cannot work with everyone.
Whatever. Like. We are here with Ivan. He's one of our latest clients. And we are gonna, as usual, ask some questions about his experience on real estate in Bali and working with us and things that he learned. So we can start maybe with an introduction of yourself.
So my name is Evan, as you said. I'm the owner of Bali Bliss Properties. We've been in Bali for a little bit more than 2 years. We have completed 3-4 projects so far.
And in your projects, how important are the visuals for your marketing, for your sales?
Visuals are really important for two separate reasons. One is for us, so me and my company, to be able to visualize what we actually want to achieve, how it should look like, what the vibe would be, and all that stuff, the usability. But then, of course, for the clients, because no matter what you tell them, they cannot just read drawings, 2D drawings, or just simple 3D drawings. They want to see what they want to buy. Especially in Bali, it's very important because a lot of the sales are off plans. And it's very important for them to see how it would look like eventually.
Okay, and what your buyers expect in terms of 3D visualizations?
Oh yeah, the Bali market is quite mature when it comes to renders. We see beautiful renders everywhere, so that's like the minimum demand of the client. They wouldn't settle for anything less, so they wouldn't even look at a project if it doesn't look superb, because there's a lot of competition in Bali, so that's good. It's a win for the clients because they get to see very good renders of what they're going to buy.
So you would say the renders affect the success of the projects?
Yeah, I was really hesitant at the beginning, so I wasn't paying too much attention. And yeah, we would still sell because we have strong selling points in our projects, but it definitely helps. It definitely helps a lot.
Okay. And besides the render, what trends do you see in Bali in your experience in the last 2 years?
Yeah, so far I saw a shift from villas to townhouses and from townhouses to apartments. And that makes a lot of sense because the land prices have gone really crazy up. And I think that's a natural response of the market. If you have more expensive land, then you need to build a little bit more square meter of buildings on a square meter of land. So that's why I saw this shift. And now the other thing that's still a question mark for me on the trends is the market became quickly matured. So there's a lot of developers like myself. We still need to figure out what's the next big thing or the next niche.
So regarding areas, for example?
I saw expansion because at the beginning it was mostly Canggu, Canggu, Canggu. Now there's definitely an expansion of Canggu, so people coming further north. Then you have a lot of interest also in Uluwatu, and also Ubud is kind of picking up again. We as a company focus in Canggu and surroundings of Canggu, so I don't have the biggest insights when it comes outside of Canggu.
Okay, so maybe you can tell us a bit about your projects, like your experience in these 2 years.
We just finished now a small project, 4 townhouses in Tubakwayu. We just finished now a 5 townhouse project in Tubakwayu, and now we're finishing close to Berawa, between Berawa and Padonan, 15 townhouse project. And then we worked with you for the apartments building in Berawa Beach. It's very close to Fins and Atlas, 200 meters from the beach. It's almost sold out. Thanks for also the renders definitely help. So we always try to find locations that make it either a good investment for those who want to see this as a complete investment, or locations that can be used both as residential but also as renting. So Bakwayu and those projects close to Padonan strike the perfect balance. Like, still can be for tourists, but we have people actually living there now.
Your past experience, because you were manager on previous companies also?
Yeah, so in my previous life, I was a management consultant. So I used to consult Fortune 500 companies or working for the strategy department of large conglomerates. So I have a business education, I have an MBA. What I try to bring to the game here is my experience from the business side of view and understand what drives the business, and not look at it purely as numbers. That's not what I mean, but understand the user experience, what the user wants, and enhance all the steps of the value chain to make sure I offer a very good deal to my clients. For example, I don't just sell a villa, I sell them a deal in which we offer it fully furnished so they can immediately rent it out or move in. And at the same time, we have started also doing the management of the villa so we can control the whole experience, make sure that our clients can get also their return on investment back.
So your past experiences helped you a lot, let's say, for
Oh,
this.
for sure, yeah. I'm just trying to draw all the experience I have gained working strategy roles and other business related roles to bring it here to create like a good value for my clients. Want to be here, want to build a name, sustainable business. So yeah.
Okay. And how do you balance, let's say, if you have some hobbies in Bali, how do you balance both real estate and the Bali life?
It's hard to balance. I'm not doing a great job, but I'm getting better. Before I started the business in Bali, I used to obviously surf a little bit. Now, because I have a lot of work demands and it's harder to have free time when the tide is right and all that stuff, I have been surfing way less, but I'm really active and Bali definitely helps. I run, so it's also awesome to run at the beach or inside some rice fields. I know some really nice locations which I'm not going to reveal so they're not going to be ruined. So it's very important because it can be really hectic from the traffic jam to all the appointments. So it's really important for me to stick to have at least 5 times a week something to help me rebalance a little.
Yeah, I have the same feeling that Bali gives you the chance to, anytime you work hard, you can also like relax
For
easily.
sure, like the moment I put my earphones on and run at the beach, then it's like the best feeling in the world. So it's really awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's say from these 2 years, or if you want to also look back further, what are the challenges that you had and how did you solve them? Do people have similar situations?
I mean, I have plenty of challenges with the business in Bali. I'm obviously not Indonesian. I don't know if you can tell. So that comes with a large list of challenges to begin with. From setting up the company, figuring out how things work, and also working with locals. We work obviously with a lot of Indonesians in my company. We have expectations from where each of us come from. Like I come from Europe, from Greece. We have our set of expectation of how things work. Then you come here, you really need to adjust. You need to be patient to understand how the local rhythm works, which is far slower sometimes than what we have experienced in the past in different countries. So yeah, these are challenges, and I would say just the only way to deal with the challenges here is to be patient, be open, be embracing how things work in Bali. I know a lot of cases, I'll tell you, it's an interesting example. There was a land I really wanted, and some other nationality just put a down payment for this land directly with the landowner. But the landowner said, you cannot start building because I need to have this ceremony and something of the village needs to tell me when you can start. And these guys were like really impatient and said, I paid you, I want the build now, I'll bring you a lawyer and stuff. And all these things don't work in Bali and the local people. You need just to be respectful and understand their needs. So he canceled the deal. I got the land. I'm really happy. I had to wait 2 to 3 months for the stars to align, and so we are all okay to start building. But it was really worth it, and it was really a nice experience for me to understand more about the local culture, and I was rewarded by actually being able to do business. So being respectful, be patient, and embrace how things work here is the only way forward.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. And the main takeaways that you learned from real estate in Bali?
At the beginning, I don't need renders, fancy renders, because I'm focusing on quality. And I still do. Now I'm focusing on quality and renders. It's really important to get right the technical part. Their practices are not great if you're not really on top of the game. Things might not happen. I've seen other projects not doing well for this reason. They had to redo foundation. That's not. So one needs to really pay attention on the technical stuff. If you don't know yourself how to evaluate, you need to hire someone that can. That's the important thing for me. Quality. When I say quality, comes to quality of construction, not only the leaking and all that stuff, but also that it's safe, right? So for people to come in, like earthquakes happen here often, make sure that everything is.
Okay, so mostly technical.
Yeah, on the technical side, obviously finishing, we call it here the standard Indonesian quality. That's one tricky thing. You can get the best renders in the world in Bali. One of the providers, it's you, but implementing this is really not easy. You see a lot of big companies coming with international portfolios, a huge experience, and they come with the attitude, we have the money, we have the experience, we'll do the best project here. And you see them, it takes them twice as much to finish the project because they don't understand the local reality. It goes back to what to say, and you need to be patient. You need to embrace how things work here,
Yeah.
so you can work through them. And they come to with a force. We're gonna make it happen. As we know, things don't work because, yeah, it's a recent boom, really, the real estate. So there's not a very experienced technicians. So
Yeah.
a lot of people come from Java. That's not a secret. They haven't worked before in construction, so it's hard to find people to do the good finishing. So straight walls, like chip the tiles here and there. You need to chase them and be behind them and make sure that they do a good job.
Okay. And then, would you share your experience with us overall?
Yeah, mind you guys, it's not a paid advertisement. I paid them, but I have to say that I was very positively surprised by our collaboration. I'll tell you why. I did not know how what I wanted to see in the apartments in Berawa would look like.
Yeah.
And you just asked me, it's okay, just send us what you like in general. And I was like really in between doing things, and I just sent you some completely unrelated things that I like. And I also told you I wanted to be minimal, elegant, Mediterranean, but I had no idea how this looks like. And what really surprised me is when I saw the first draft, I said, fuck, that's exact, or sorry for the word, that's exactly what I had in my mind. And I just could not find words to describe. I just sent you this unrelated stuff, and you created something that you really, triggered my emotion and said, that's exactly what I had in mind.
Awesome.
That's fully the truth. And that's why I'm happy I worked with you, and I would like to work again. You translated what I had in my head that I could not put in words or in even an imagery in my head, and you created exactly what I wanted. So that was really awesome. I have worked with other guys before, but yeah, you did a very good job on this, I think.
Awesome. So link to that, what would set us apart from other experiences that you had?
You could understand I'm dumb at speaking architectural 3D visualization, and you took my low intelligence information I gave you, and you created exactly what I had in my head. So that's invaluable to me, and that was really the reason why I'm really happy with the result. Not only it looks nice, but it's actually what I had in my head. So that's invaluable. So I thank you very much for this.
Awesome. So then, would you recommend us? It's an easy question.
No, because I want to work only. I want you to work only with me, because if everyone uses you, then I'm losing the edge.
Awesome. So I think we covered most of the question I wanted to ask you. If you want to add anything, things that you might think that we left.
It's also easy to work with you, apart from the fact that you can translate my wants to an actual render. It was very easy to work with you, very easy on the chat, and very quickly to turn around the ideas and bring alternatives and stuff. Easy to work with you. That's how I felt. So I really like that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.